So let's talk about Travis Kelce and
Let's talk.
his
Wow.
boo,
It's
Taylor Swift.
this is so weird. So this has been going on all football season, basically, with people being annoyed that Taylor Swift is at a football game. And I gotta say, I used to watch sports all the time years ago. When I got rid of cable 4 or 5 years ago, I pretty much stopped watching sports, which if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you, because I watched, football, basketball, baseball all the time. But now I rarely watch it at all. But I remember years ago when Tony Romo was dating, was it Jessica Simpson? Do you guys remember that? When
Oh, I
Tony
don't
Romo
know.
was dating Jessica Simpson? Well, he was, I'm pretty sure. And they would do the same thing. They would cut away to her, in the box seats and everything. And of course, the Cowboys sucked, and they lost playoff game after playoff game, and everybody would blame Jessica Simpson for it. And that's what it reminds me of, but this is 1,000 times worse. And it's also because social media is a lot bigger now than it was back then. But it's so weird. I guess it's not even weird anymore because we see it all the time that conservatives or just reactionaries in general have this weird obsession with masculinity. But well, first off, they worship a guy who's the least masculine person I've ever seen in my life. We're wearing his girdle and his heels and his makeup, and getting into fights with daytime celebrity TV show hosts and everything. But they also get fixated on the least masculine stuff possible, like the Little Mermaid, or what's her name, Taylor Swift. And I don't get it. I really don't get it, because a normal reaction from a normal person would be, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Taylor Swift is one of the biggest celebrities in the world, and she's dating a football player, so of course they're going to cut away to bring more people to watch the game and capitalize on this event." But nope, nope, it enrages them. They're losing sleep at night over this, and I don't understand it. Have you run across this a lot, Nick?
I mean, honestly, stuff like this is partially the reason why I don't get into sports.
Ah.
I mean,
John. John.
there's
I love it. I love it.
there you go. Yeah. um, but yeah, the culture. I mean, masculinity culture in general, especially when it applies to sports. I feel like this isn't even surprising anymore. Like. Taylor Swift showing up at football games and people just losing their shit. To me, I feel like just being an outsider, watching people get super into sports and having nothing to do with it on purpose. I feel like this should just be Tuesday for them, right? Like the people that are like not Taylor Swift going up to games. I feel like the reaction that people are having,
Mm.
like I feel like this is so common. The judgment about the judgment one about women, but two about anything that isn't in their core like social group, like the
Yep.
core like alpha masculine group. Anything that's not that, they have so much judgment against. So I'm not even really surprised. I was like, when Taylor Swift started showing up in games, I'm like, I guess this is the test, right? Like, if like, how far can this go? Because I thought everybody unanimously loved Taylor Swift, and I'm like, nope, okay. Weirdly, like, I guess that doesn't surprise me.
Well, Nick, it is interesting because from a certain perspective, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce should be a traditional conservative fucking wet dream. If you were to like go to a conservative 20 years ago and be like, okay, so there's a very famous football player, white guy, very attractive. He's dating the biggest pop star on the planet, white girl, country. I guess she's not a country singer anymore, but she got started as a country
Mhm.
singer. Like you would just assume that that person is going to be loved by the conservatives, like
Well,
you
until he starts being a good person on camera,
well, yeah, well, that's
that's
it's
that's the thing.
it's the vaccine for Travis, and I recognize I put Taylor's album up here, and I forgot I took down Travis's on this album, so coincidentally I own albums from both of them. But this is the, in case you didn't know, the Philadelphia Eagles, they do this like
I was like,
album.
wait,
But
wouldn't that be Jason Kelce?
it's Jason, but he brought his brother on this
Oh,
album.
okay, all
Yeah,
right,
so,
okay.
That's pretty
but
cool,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point, I find it so interesting because there is just so much of, it's like a wrong sandwich. Like every layer of this controversy is just inaccurate or wrong in some way. Because let's discuss what is actually being talked about. Because it's not just that, like, oh, Taylor Swift is coming to the games and that's annoying. Like they were doing that with Jessica Simpson. Like conservative.
No, aren't they
like,
talking about like screen time that Taylor Swift is getting like on camera?
It's not even that. It's so like as TJ was saying with like Jessica Simpson, yeah, like conservative men hate things that teenage girls like. And so if you're a pop star, you're probably going to be hated by that demographic. And that cycle plays through all the time. And we wouldn't be talking about this if it was just that.
Yeah,
What's happening now is we have like Sean Hannity and Vivek Ramaswamy and like legitimate, like just straight politics dudes in the conservative media sphere going hard on this conspiracy theory that this entire, like, Taylor Swift is a CIA plant. She is a psyop in order to bread and circuses distract us from what Joe Biden is doing, and the entire NFL season has been scripted in order for Travis Kelce, the vaccine guy, and Taylor Swift to like get all of this attention, and they're going to win the Super Bowl, and then Taylor Swift is going to endorse Joe Biden for president. That is the conspiracy theory. That is it. And it is wrong on every single level. First of all, if Taylor Swift endorses Joe Biden for president, that will convince exactly 3 people to change their vote. Everyone who Taylor Swift would have convinced to vote for Joe Biden for president was already voting for Joe Biden for president. There was no need to script the NFL season to make that happen. And like it doesn't make any sense on any level, even if you think the NFL season could be scripted, or you think that Taylor Swift could be turned into a CIA plant for this sole purpose of getting people to vote for Joe Biden, even though this would have happened years ago before Joe Biden was president. It is one of the dumbest conspiracy theories I've ever seen.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're probably going to have something more insightful to say than I was going to say.
Well, like, no, I don't know shit
about sports.
It's just like, so here's the thing with it is true. Like, he's right. It is a wild conspiracy that has been said by a lot of people, like prominent conservative talking heads, prominent conservative politicians. Like they floated this out there that, you know, the Biden crime family has gotten together and somehow they have Taylor Swift's and Travis Kelce's phone numbers. Like, can you guys do us a solid here and you know, try to get this through? And what's crazy about it is that they're acting like there's this weird puppet strings thing. Taylor Swift publicly endorsed Joe Biden in 2020. Like, she's already done it.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be out of character for her at all. You wouldn't need, you know, some puppet master doing this. And John, 1,000% what you said about this. I think the primary reason conservatives are so mad is because they feel betrayed. Like, imagine you're a conservative and you find out that, you know, this slender, blonde-haired, blue-eyed country singer is the biggest pop star in the world, and she's dating an equally blonde, you know, 6'5", corn-fed, good old boy from the Midwest who plays professional football in a small market team smack dab in the middle of the country, and you find out they're a couple of fucking libs. Like, that's gotta sting so badly, because these people, like, these are, like John said, they're picture perfect people who would definitely be on your side, you know, if you were, you know, betting on it. And they've got like Super Saiyan 2 liberalism. Like, they are just lived out to the extreme. And like Kelce, they do hate him because of the vaccine thing. Like, he did a commercial saying, hey folks, the COVID vaccine is good for you. It might save your life. It might save the lives of people you know. And they are seething over it. Like, they are so fucking mad about that. And Taylor Swift, of course, you know, she's been a loud advocate for abortion rights and
LGBT rights.
And
those are her two LGBT rights. Those are her two
LGBT rights and everything.
things.
And strangely silent on Gaza, but like I said, she's a lib, whatever. It's like
Yeah.
they can't stand it, and it's insane. First off, it's like
TJ,
Taylor Swift,
they got Fox News criticizing her for using her private jet and
I
like
saw
having
that.
carbon emissions.
I
Like
saw
that is the pretzel that they're getting twisted into.
Yeah, they said, oh, she's on
That's
these.
beautiful.
It's just so fucking disingenuous, and also it doesn't even make sense because. Like, let's say, like I saw Fox News release another stat that said that 20% of Taylor Swift fans said they would vote the way she told them to vote. Let's assume that's true. Like, let's just assume that they would, like you said, John, they were probably going to vote that way anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's but let's assume that's true. How much power do you think is going to be behind a presidential?
I have a spreadsheet for that.
Huh?
I have a spreadsheet for that, actually.
It's like, how much power?
He's pulling up. He does.
Yeah, no, I got one. But go ahead.
How much power could there possibly be behind a presidential endorsement in fucking February? Like, are you shitting me? Like, that doesn't make any
February,
sense
that does change things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Go ahead, Nick. What were you thinking? What were you thinking about this?
Oh no, I actually did a video series on it. It was a long time ago, but it was for the third party stuff where I was trying to show everybody how third parties worked, right? And I showed that if Taylor Swift was running for president, assuming that all of her fans wanted to vote for her instead, what impact would she have? And if she was running third party, she wouldn't. And like, and the reason isn't because of numbers; it's because of the way our electoral college system works. But the thing is, Taylor Swift, a lot of her fans are in southern states anyway, right? Like states that are about to, like the states that are so close to swing states but aren't swing states because they're like super southern, super country, and have just enough of a blue population to have feelings about it, but not enough to actually trigger a vote. But yeah, actually, it would take me a little bit to figure out what Taylor Swift, if she ran for Democrat, would actually do. So that's not a this episode thing, but I could totally find it.
If you guys want to see that, we'll definitely like this video. Tell us in a comment, and we will bring Nick back on just to talk about that.
I'd love that segment. I would love that segment.
I would love to hear that, Nick. No, but I think that the funny thing to me about all of this is that it really is actually hitting home for me personally, because I see how this entire controversy happened because I too make political content. And that is exactly what this entire controversy is. There is not a soul. Sean Hannity doesn't actually think that Taylor Swift is going to impact, that this is a psyop. He doesn't believe any of this, but it's going to get clicks. It's going to get clicks, and that is why this is a conspiracy. And the amount of clicks it has gotten is the reason it is so big. The amount of people who will watch that video determines the amount of people who end up believing in that video, because the amount of people who click the video determines how many other people are going to talk about that video. And there's a lot of people who will just believe whatever Sean Hannity tells them, or, insert whoever's talking about this here. And that's exactly how this got created. And the only reason it's so big is because that is how big of a draw Taylor Swift is.
I am going to slightly disagree with you here, John.
Okay.
And,
I love it.
So I do think they are worried about it. Not necessarily for the election, like not necessarily, because when they talk about the election, a lot of the complaints they have is that Taylor Swift, this one wasn't even like partisan. She made a big drive to get people to register to vote. And, like a shitload of her fans, mostly women, went out to register to vote. And they don't like that because, the more women vote, the less success they have, not necessarily for president even, but just for, Congress and the Senate and everything and local elections. That's going to hurt them. But what they're really upset about is the same thing conservatives are always upset about, is the fact that they have dwindling representation in pop culture. They hate it. And it's why they're always so upset at, Hollywood and movies and television and people who practice the arts. And even though they shit on the arts all the time, every chance they get. And it's why, like, Donald Trump is a celebrity, but he has such spite toward, the celebrity world and celebrity culture, because he's never accepted. And why Republicans can do everything they can to try to implement, draconian measures to attack the queer community or minority community, like they can get power, but there's no amount of money that can make you cool, that can make you like accepted by pop culture.
Just ask
And
Elon.
Yeah, exactly. Ask Elon. Yeah. And so like Taylor Swift is just a glaring example of that. Like, oh, this is like a huge pop star, and she's in the NFL, she's the NFL player, the biggest sport in the nation, and they're both libs, and it's just insulting to them because like Fox News, it's a bunch of 80-year-olds that watch it anyway, and they're just mad at their daughters that don't talk to them anymore, and Taylor Swift is a reminder of that. So I think it's just an extension of how they already know that they've lost popular society, and that this is just shoving it in their face every day. Like that's, I think, a huge reason why they're upset.
You got something to say, Nick? Because I
They look like you're
I
saying
thought
something.
about it. Yeah, I thought about it, and I was like, here's the thing, though. With this topic, I mean, I can answer stats, I can answer but when it comes to sports, and especially when it comes to Taylor Swift as a pop star, I don't know shit about this, and so I can, a lot of the time, even I can think about okay, well, what do Republicans want? What do conservatives want? What are they upset about? But for me on the outside, pretty much all I see is just a lot of politics thrown into an already aggravating sports insiderism thing. And it seems, hearing you guys talk about it, it seems like I am incredibly wrong about that opinion. So every time I open my mouth to say something, I'm like, I need to re-examine if that's true.
Wait, why do you think you're wrong about that opinion based on what we're saying?
Because you guys have a lot of insight. It seems like you guys know more about the nuances of football fans and what they want to see. I wasn't thinking at all about the demographics of football and the overlap between conservatives that has. I wasn't even thinking about the loyalness that people are in football to their team and to players and stuff until that topic was brought up about how they feel betrayed, and little things that you guys are saying are making me think, even if I am right about that, I'm right about the surface level. I have no nuanced knowledge about any of this.
Lucky for you, there's actually not a whole lot below the surface level. There's not a whole lot there. Imagine football fans, and especially your conservative fans, just imagine they're 12-year-old boys with a no girls allowed sign. That's really it. That's all it comes down to. And they're
that's what it feels like. Okay. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
really
the
not
assessment.
that much to it.
But there, like most things, there's a lot of complexity there. But when you boil it down to it, that TJ's perfectly correct. I could probably write you a 10-page essay about how the demographics of the NFL mixed with the demographics of the Taylor Swift fan base and the politics of the vaccine with Travis Kelce have created a media shitstorm that is just going to be compelling. And I could make all these arguments, but at the end of the day, TJ's perfectly right. This is about a bunch of grown men acting like 12-year-old boys because they think that Taylor Swift has cooties and they don't like the
right.
And honestly, it is like the Seinfeld quote, rooting for the laundry. And I say that all the time about politics, about how a lot of people treat politics like sports, like they're just rooting for the laundry. It doesn't matter who the players are, who comes and goes. It doesn't matter if there's an actual rational reason to think my team's going to win the Super Bowl. Gosh darn it, when my team's 0-0 in the beginning of the year, they're winning that damn. So this is their year every year. And it's never true. But that's the mentality of sports. And so when you apply that to politics, and you mix the two, it actually goes exactly how you think it will, because it's the same mentality. And again, I could probably put together 10,000 words on this, but at the end of the day, your first gut reaction is still going to be correct.
Well, yeah, that makes me feel better, but still, there's a lot of nuance that you guys know that I was still like, wow, okay, I was out of the loop.
Trust me, I'm not proud that I know all of this nuance. It's useless information that I think way too much about.
None of us
my
feel good about
opening
ourselves
bit, and
here.
I was like, "Ooh, man, ooh, I don't know shit."
All right, guys, you made it to that point in the show where it is basically over. You're just sitting here still listening. You probably are still cooking and haven't finished, haven't clicked off the show yet. But we very much appreciate that because that helps the algorithm. We have our excellent guest, Nick Powers, here. I've been a fan of Nick's for a long time. It was a coup to get him on the show, but I'll let him tell you guys where to find him because he makes some excellent content.
Hey, yeah, thank you. I'm a huge fan of both of you as well. You can find me TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at that Nick Powers guy. It's the same everywhere. My novel, As the Pizza Burns, you can buy anywhere you buy books, especially online. Sometimes you can't find it in brick and mortar stores, but yeah, you can find it anywhere you buy books online.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. We appreciate having Nick on here. It was fantastic. Be sure to go out there and find his book. Find our pages, follow us all. Like, share, subscribe, and if you don't follow us, we will find a way to follow you. So enjoy the rest of your evening knowing that.